Eric, thanks for sitting down with us.
Thank you,
Now,
Nathan.
obviously, you've been to Tulsa a lot of times, been to Oklahoma a lot of times. What stands out for you when you visit here?
Yeah. Well, I love the people. There's a great meme that goes around on the internet. It says it's no one's perfect politically, and then there's a little Oklahoma state outline that says, hold my beer. It's 77 counties times three, meaning three times. But we have so much support. I mean, we won every county. All three times my father ran. I mean, Oklahoma's always been kind of a state that's loved him, loved our family, loved everything that he stood for. Hardworking people, people who believe in God, people who believe in our Constitution, people who love the American flag. It's a wonderful place. I can't tell you how many great friends I have here, and always love visiting Tulsa and always love visiting the great state.
Now you're kind of leading into my next question because yes, your dad won all 77 counties in 2016, 2020, 2024. What do you think it is about him, a guy that's so associated with New York and the East Coast? What is it about him that's connected with people in Oklahoma?
Yeah. Listen, he's real. He fights for his country. He loves his country. He's not fake. All right. It always amused me that kind of the billionaire from New York could go to the Iowa State Fair, and he would do so in a suit and his signature red tie and fly in on his helicopter, and everybody adored that. And yet you had all these politicians who would go buy a pair of Carhartts the day before. They still had the stickers on them, with some pair of boots, and ride in on a Harley Davidson. Everybody just ignored them because they knew they were phonies. I mean, he's a guy who's real to himself. He's a guy that loves this nation. He's the last guy who needed to be in politics. We're the last family that needed to be in politics. He speaks his mind. He's not politically correct. None of us are. We did it as a family. We fought as a family. And he's trying to restore the soul of this nation, which was desperately being lost under Obama and then under Biden. They were trying to get rid of God. They were trying to get rid of the Second Amendment. Again, they were trying to get rid of our Constitution. They were at war with our family unit in this country. They were demonizing moms all over the place. They were demonizing having children and building big prosperous families. And you look at what everything that this state stands for, and it's the antithesis of who the Democrats are, their agenda and what they And so Oklahoma came out in massive force. One of the greatest kind of victories in all of politics was this state right here, and we appreciate everybody, and we love everybody here. We love the state, and it's an honor to visit, and I visited a lot.
Now you have a new book coming out, Under Siege, on October 14th. Reading the previews on it, it seems like you kind of touch on the current political climate being very contentious right now. Unfortunately, sadly, we've seen even violent at times. However, we got to this point, and each side points to the other side. Is this a major threat, you think, for our country, the contentiousness of the political landscape right now?
Yeah, it's not each side pointing at the other side. There's bullets that are only flying in one direction. It's very clear. The book is called Under Siege. I went to Amazon #1 instantly. They tried to destroy our family. They tried to destroy the greatest political movement. They weaponized the government. They weaponized lawfare. They impeached my father twice. They tried to take him off of ballots of every state. They raided our home, Mar-a-Lago. They weaponized the DOJ. They weaponized the FBI. They took him off of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They did the same to me. They convicted him 91 times of sham counts. They tried to bankrupt him. I became the most subpoenaed person in American history. I mean, I could go on for hours. And then they tried to kill him twice. First in Butler, Pennsylvania, and then at a golf course. And then they killed our friend Charlie, and then they shot Steve Scalise. And then, they tried to kill Kavanaugh. No, the bullets are only flying one way. All as young guys trying to go to college campuses to have open and free debates, using our First Amendment right. And that's what the book Under Siege is about. It's about all the behind-the-scenes story of the family, what they tried to do, the movement, and ultimately, and for all of Oklahoma, who's incredibly proud of this, hence the voting record, how they failed in great fashion.
Do you see a path forward for the country in the political landscape to get to more of a civil position in our country?
Yeah, I pray for it. I pray for it, and I think everybody in Oklahoma is praying for it. They're praying that the radical left lunatics stop, shooting at 31-year-old kids from rooftops. They pray that there's more God, that there's more family, that there's more unity, that there's less corruption, that there's more people who aren't career bureaucrats who actually run for political office that can actually make a difference. Our country is doing fantastically right now. Everybody is proud of our nation. I'm in business. I think everybody knows, what we do and who we are. And, I run one of the great real estate companies in the world. And I speak to everybody. And, under Biden, we are the laughingstock of the world. I mean, no one respected the United States. And, we're the most respected country in the world right now. There's just no question about it. Everybody envies the United States. Everybody wants to be a part of what we're creating. And that's beautiful.
Now, you mentioned it. You're not a politician by trade. You're not an elected official. You're a businessman. You and your brother are leading the Trump organization. Also, this American Bitcoin that you founded. What do you look at as the future of Bitcoin in America? What kind of a role does it play in our economy?
Yeah. I got into cryptocurrency because we were the most debanked family ever. I was getting letters from Capital One and all sorts of institutions. Congratulations, your accounts are hereby shut down. And I say, why? Because my father wears a hat that says, make America great again. And it happens to be red, and he happens to be a Republican. And, we found cryptocurrency, right? It's the financial engine of the future. Bitcoin, I think, has been simply the greatest asset of the last decade, return-wise. There's nothing that's been, everybody wants it. Every Fortune 500 company is hoarding it. Every country around the world, there's a race for it. And I think Bitcoin will be, one of the great assets. I think it's the greatest hedge against hard assets like real estate, but I think it's one of the greatest investments and one of the greatest assets of our time. And cryptocurrency, just in general, is going to redefine the financial landscape. It's going to take the power away from the banks. It's cheaper, faster, more transparent. It's 24/7. Why can't you wire somebody money on a Saturday at noon? Right? You can do that with cryptocurrency. You can't do that through the SWIFT system. You can't do that through your bank. Why does it take you 120 days to go out and get a home mortgage? Go through and know your customer with your bank that you've banked with for the last 30 years. Cryptocurrency eliminates all of that. I think crypto revolution is going to, or certainly we're winning it as a country, but it's going to redefine finance in a major way.
As we said, your book's not out yet, but I think part of the book is you and your brother taking over the company for your dad when he became president in 2016, maybe not expecting it to last now nearly a decade. What has that experience been like for you?
Yeah. Well, my father called me into his office, and this was 2016, said right after he won, and, honey, I want you to take over the company. I want you to run the company, and I've been running it ever since. And we've never had a better company, Trump organization. We have the best assets around the world, and I'm incredibly proud of it. I mean, they put us through hell, hence, obviously, Under Siege, and the story I write about, they absolutely put us through hell. They wanted to see us gone. They wanted to see us decimated. They wanted to see, the Trump name off of every building in New York and around the world. They wanted to see our family broken up. Frankly, they wanted to see my father in jail and probably me right after him. And, we beat these guys, but we beat it because we have a great family. We refused to back down, but also because we have a great company, and a great company that didn't cower, a great company that didn't give up. We fought every single day, and we won, and I'm really proud of that.
I'm sure we're about running out of time, but a current events question for you. I know on a lot of people's mind right now is the First Amendment, especially with the Jimmy Kimmel controversy going on. What do you view as the government's role in regulating speech?
Yeah, I find the Jimmy Kimmel thing so ironic, as they threw my father off of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Yet Boko Haram, the Ayatollah, Al Qaeda, Hezbollah, they all kept their accounts, right? And they were very quick to do this. You go back to 2020 and you type in Trump polling location on Google, and it show you glowing articles about Joe Biden. It wouldn't show you where a polling location was. They weaponized the hell. They weaponized our media in ways that you can never imagine. The mainstream media was 98% negative toward Donald Trump for a 10-year period of time, yet we still won. And so I think the government should have really no role in this. But if there's ever been a party that's weaponized free speech, look what they did during COVID. You could go buy pot, but you couldn't go to church. Right? If anybody dared to say that hydroxychloroquine may work, medical professionals, right? They were stripped of their Twitter accounts and they lost their medical licenses. There was no free speech. And I think this whole country realizes that. And, there should be free speech. It's the bedrock of our Constitution. There's a reason it's the First Amendment, right? This isn't some distant afterthought. It's the First Amendment. And they did everything they could to make sure that there was no free speech by turning down the dial on every single conservative, including the vast majority of people in Oklahoma and probably the vast majority of people listening to us right now.
And I like to wrap up interviews often with something, because I never know what the answer is going to be. Is there something on your mind that's been kind of sitting there for a week or two that you kind of can't get out of it and you're really ruminating on?
Yeah. No, just that it's amazing how fast this pendulum has shifted back, and I think we're making the country very proud. I think my father's making the country very proud. I think Oklahoma right now is incredibly proud. There's been a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of bullets, a lot of wounds, both kind of physical and other, to a lot of people in this country, and to see our country get back on course, to see our country respected again is a wonderful thing, and I'm incredibly proud of everything he's doing and everything that America is doing right now.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.